Welcome back to the morning show here on the Arise News channel. Joining us now is Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, G.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you? How's it going this morning?
I'm good.
Perfect. Good morning, Victoria. Today I'm calling you Victoria.
Thank you, darling. I love it.
Yes.
There's some inside baseball, and I'm not part of that.
Yes, you are. She's Victoria because she looks like a queen.
Okay, very good.
Good morning, Rufai. How are you?
Alpha, how's it going? How are you doing? You're looking great and special and wonderful.
Thank you.
Always.
And so are you. Well, good morning to you, viewers. We begin what's trending in Nigeria, where the Inspector General of Police has set up a new unit called the Special Weapons and Tactics Squad to replace the controversial Special Anti-Robbery Squad, or SARS, as it was known, which was disbanded following protests over human rights abuses. The Inspector General, Mohammed Adamu, also ordered the unconditional release of all persons arrested during the ongoing protests against police brutality. And he said Nigerians had the right to protest peacefully and ordered officers to stop using force against them. It is not clear that this is going to be enough for thousands of young Nigerians who have taken to the streets to demanding wider police reforms. Amnesty International says at least 10 persons have been killed during a week of the demonstrations that are showing no signs of ending. It's been reported that the police have used live bullets on protesters. In the course of these protests, Arise News cameramen have twice been brutalized by the police and their cameras seized and damaged. Well, let's take a look at this report from our correspondent, Ferdinand Duoha in Abuja.
Assembly. And they are just at the junction, at the entrance leading to the National Assembly. And thus far, well, the military guys have refused to allow the protesters move any further. Now, perhaps you want to raise questions about why the protesters had not been allowed to go see their representatives. You want to raise questions about why the protesters are not being allowed to go see people who indeed, would carry their voice, to the executives. So we'll just wait and see exactly what the reactions would look like.
They collected the mic. They collected the mic from me. Of Arise News. Arise News. They have collected their mic.
We are going live now. We are going live now.
They beat the cameraman.
Yes.
They collected his camera. They smashed the camera. They beat up
they have the second Arise News camera.
the second
And
one.
then also, they've collected the micro mic that I have on me.
Yes.
While I was asking the man to release our cameras. Some of our personnel, some of our staff have been beaten,
Yes.
while some of them have been wounded.
Yes.
In the last 48 hours, 2 Arise News digital HD cameras have been collected. Just because we want to give Nigerians a voice. That is the true picture in Abuja.
Quite outrageous what happened yesterday. Arise News, actually, that particular protest was the only news organization that was there. And I don't understand why they could see that this was a journalist with their crew and they attacked the cameraman and punched him. It was terrible what happened yesterday.
First of all, I really want to commend Ferdinand for the work that he's doing, the exemplary work that he's doing out there. And I'm not surprised that Arise News was the only news outfit that was there, because we're always there. And we just, this just goes to show. But I just am disgusted on so many levels that this is happening. I am so worried about this country. People died for our democracy. This is completely unacceptable. Men in uniform must not feel any kind of immunity from consequence. They must not feel that they're better than the rest of us, that they're better than the average Nigerian. This is a peaceful protest. They have no right to wantonly destroy property, assault people, and kill 10 people. This reminds me also of the COVID lockdown that the president announced. Within days of that, Nigerians were being killed in the name of enforcing the lockdown. More people died from policemen, shooting them than the actual COVID disease itself in the early days of this virus. What kind of country is it where this happens?
You see, there's reporting at least 10 people have been killed.
Yes.
We took one story that was really outrageous
devastating.
on Monday.
This is not the democracy people died for.
Yes. Dr. Bati.
Well, Amnesty International has reported that since the protest started about a week ago, that 10 persons have been killed. Isn't it disturbing enough that a protest that was organized to check police brutality or impunity on the part of persons in uniform has also been characterized by the same ill? And the assault on the media, we've said, is a violation of the rights of the media under the Constitution. It's an assault on press freedom. And I made a point earlier that, look, we're getting to a point now whereby both the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria and the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria will have to come together and identify all those cameras that have been smashed, journalists that have been beaten, and ask for the replacement of the equipment or even the compensation of the journalists. The media industry is severely impacted, just like any other industry, by COVID-19. Yeah. There are media houses that cannot even afford to buy extra equipment. There are media houses that are struggling with the payment of salaries. And then they go out there, the journalists go out there to do their job, and then the Nigerian state will be smashing cameras and be withdrawing microphones. I mean, that's an act of cruelty.
And you can see
just
it was a peaceful protest of people were kneeling.
Now, the other part of that story is the announcement that 5 demands have been met, as put forward by the Nigerian youths, and now we have this thing called SWAT or SWAT. I don't know what they are swatting or swapping. And I made a point that this Special Weapons and Tactics Unit is imitative. Because if you go to the US, people like you who have lived in the US, you will know about SWAT, right? Yeah. It was first established in 1964 in Philadelphia, followed by the LAPD department setting up its own unit in 1967. And then over the years, you have so many springing up across the US. And after September 9/11, after 9/11, you had even more. A special unit, a paramilitary unit that is used to check urban terrorism and to do that kind of work that policemen ordinarily will not be able to do. When they are not doing that, they do regular police duties, but it's their training and the kind of equipment that they use that sets them apart. Now, the question is, we have borrowed this model, we have borrowed this name. Did enough rigorous thinking go into it? Or is it that somebody just suggested to the Inspector General of Police, oh, let's change the name to SWAT?
And Nigerians
have rejected that. All of a sudden, what you have found is a change of name.
Yes.
And that's why many Nigerians are skeptical.
Yes.
They are saying that this is not any innovation. This is SARS that went abroad. SARS with another tactics. Okay? Because Nigerians have seen when you change the name of NEPA to PACN, it wasn't as if there was any improvement.
No.
When they said they changed prison service to correctional centers, have you seen any difference in the prisons in Nigeria? So that's the justification for the skepticism. And I hope that going forward, the Nigerian government will realize that the basic problem it has is to rebuild the trust and the confidence of the young people of Nigeria in the government, because these guys are just saying, look, we have given up on this country, and in fact, it's no longer end SARS, it will now be end SWAT.
End SWAT, yes.
So don't be surprised if you start seeing people carrying placards and saying end SWAT. By the way, the people who sell placards, they seem to be making a lot of fortune from this protest.
Yes, at least one good thing there. But still in Nigeria, the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has set up a 200 million naira trust fund to compensate the families of the victims of police brutality in the state. On Monday, the governor had attended the protest in Lekki area of the city, where he encouraged the youth to conduct peaceful protests while acknowledging the people that have been killed by the Special Anti-Robbery Squad unit. Let's take a look.
I'm aware that Okpe, I'm aware that Ayomide Taiwo, I'm aware that Kolawole Joshua, I'm aware that Christina Ugochukwu, I'm aware that Chidima and God's Power Edolo, amongst a little list of people that we need to, part of your agenda is we need to get to the family and we need to compensate the families. Am I right? Good. So that we can do, and we can do, because we are compiling the names and we're trying to get how to reach out to them. One of the things that happened about an hour ago was that Mr. President himself had addressed the ban on SARS.
Well, the governor was out again yesterday to speak with protesters who blocked the government office at Alausa in Ikeja, the state capital. The protesters were out also to demand for an increase in salary for police officers. While the governor tried to contain the crowd, the protesters ignored his comments and continued to chant "End SARS." Let's take a look. This is protests on another level. I mean, you can see that these people don't believe anything the government is saying at this point, even as much as he has already set up a trust fund for the victims of the people that have, died from the brutality from SARS and all of that. They were playing this song. It was Davide's song, which is, the famous song, which they were saying to him, it's enough, you're talking too much, just enough. Let's continue to protest for police reform.
Yeah, but I don't actually understand that.
Yeah.
They're demanding Buhari should address them. They want the leadership to address them. A leader acts like one, which I really have to commend the governor of Lagos State.
Yes.
That was exemplary as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
He acts like a leader and they're just shouting him down. That's completely unacceptable and it's immature.
Yes.
Everybody should focus. They should focus. Results. It's really, I'm sure it's all fun and games, playing a song and what have you, but they need to get results. And they need to demonstrate that they are also listening. It's a conversation.
Yes.
There's a dialogue. It's a two-way street. You can't talk and expect other people to be silent. And especially when the answer that you're getting from the governor of Lagos is so positive. He's empathizing. He's been accountable. So we've had a famous footage, I'm sure you both saw it, that went viral of one of our late governors lambasting protesters. Governor Sanwo-Olu is taking the opposite approach, and this is what he gets for that. That's really uncalled for.
Yeah.
But I do commend him because the state continues to try to convince Nigerian youth of their inherent unworthiness. But there's something in the human spirit, no matter how downtrodden you are. The government does not give you jobs. The government does not provide the environment for you to set up a business for yourself and employ people, create jobs. The government did not provide a quality education for you. I believe mine is the last generation that can even say they enjoyed any kind of last vestiges of what it means to be Nigerian. We at least had some positives to say about this country. This current generation Z, they literally don't. So when you have that kind of situation, and what is within you is being broken down constantly by your government, this kind of anger is the likely consequence. But at the same time, I do want the protesters to
focus
listen
on the message
and focus on getting results.
Yes, the result.
You must demonstrate that you also listen so that the government can continue to offer more.
Yes.
Well, first, let's commend the governor of Lagos State and his deputy, who in the last week have been in the forefront of engagement with the protesters. And that's understandable. Lagos is always the epicenter of everything. The protests have been more organized, more, widespread in Lagos than in any other part of the country. On Monday, Governor Sanwo-Olu was in Lekki to address the protesters at the Lekki toll gate. Yesterday again, when the protesters took over the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and also stormed the state secretariat at Alausa, he was also there to address them. That song they were singing, that's Davido's Fem, which is like saying, Fem your mouth, shut up.
Talking too much.
You talk too much. But even in spite of that, he went on to address them. They gave him a list of demands, a letter that they insisted that he must present to the president. And of course, shortly after that encounter, he went straight to Abuja. And yesterday in Abuja, he held a meeting with the President Muhammadu Buhari. He also had a meeting with the Inspector General of Police. And when he returned from Abuja that same yesterday, he made it clear that the Lagos State government had launched a 200 million naira compensation fund for victims of the brutality, that they suffered in the hands of the police. And he already had a compilation of a list of victims. So I think that, we have to commend Lagos State.
Yes,
and it's important
absolutely.
to compare what has happened in Lagos State so far with the management of this protest to what has happened in other states. Before I come to the last one, in Ogun State, one of the things that the governor did was to order the immediate release of persons who had been arrested. That again was very well received within the community. In Osun State, in Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, visited Ogbomosho yesterday. In Ogbomosho, 3 persons were killed. Isiaki Jimo, Adeoye, and one other person. And he visited each of the families and gave them 1 million naira each. Well, 1 million naira does not compensate for the loss of life, but at least the governor of the state showed up.
He's been responsible.
He also visited the Shongo of Ogbomosho, whose palace was attacked by the protesters after the killings that the young people experienced. And of course, the governor gave the Shongo of Ogbomosho, he promised the palace in Ogbomosho a sum of 100 million naira to fix things that have been damaged. That in itself has generated some controversy, whether the Shongo of Ogbomosho should be given 100 million and the families of the victims should receive only 1 million naira
That's a
each.
reasonable question.
It's a matter of perspective because we don't know whether there is some kind of we don't know the extent of even the damage in the palace because they vandalized the palace. The building suffered some, attack. Vehicles were also destroyed. But we don't need to go into the details. The spirit of it is important. Meanwhile, in Akwa Ibom State, we were told that the governor tried to bribe the protesters with 4 million naira, and the protesters turned against him and started calling him a Yahoo boy. In another state, the governor tried to bribe the protesters with 1.5 million. They collected his money and threw it at him.
Yes,
and
I
they
believe that was Ibadan.
No, it's in the
That
east.
was in the east, okay.
They threw his money at him and started shouting, "We don't want your money, we don't want your money." Meanwhile, yesterday on this program, we talked about River State when we asked Aisha Yusufu about the attempt by the governor of River State.
Well, that's our next story, so that we can discuss that.
To ban the protest. It was defied.
Yes.
The voice came out and said, "Wike, we dey come, oh. Wike, we dey come,
Dr. Bati, let's take that story.
Oh, you don't want me to sing the song?
No, not yet.
Wike, we know good,
Pause. You've got to do it. Well, the River State Governor, Nyesom Wike, on Tuesday addressed the protesters in front of the government house in Port Harcourt, despite his earlier ban on the NSAS protest in the state. In a statement on Monday, the governor had banned the people of River State from protesting on the grounds that the Special Anti-Robbery Squad unit had been scrapped. The protesters, however, on Tuesday morning, marched to the government house where they presented their grievances against the police brutality. The governor, while addressing the crowd, made a U-turn on the statement and called for a total reform of the Nigerian police. Let's take a look.
Nobody has suffered. No state has suffered in the hands of SARS like River State. I am the only state, the only governor who has come out to fight against SARS. And I said they must grab the SARS. No governor came out, not one came out that SARS should be scrapped. No, so? Five. We have lost so many people in this state in the hands of SARS. So, when I was shouting it in this country. I was shouting about SARS. I was shouting about SARS. Not one state supported River State. Not one state. SARS has killed our people a lot.
Rufai, Eastern Wike has made a U-turn on his statement, and he's claiming that he's the only governor.
Against you.
Yeah. He's the only governor who's
I was having a protest here against you and Governor Wike.
What was your protest?
It's as simple as that. Real quickly, I think it shows the level of how low some politicians go in society to think that this struggle, it's about money. That you can just spend 4 million naira to give to a group of people and you think they will just forget it like that. The millions of lives that have been lost, or thousands of lives that have been lost, or hundreds of lives that have been lost as a result of this SARS struggle. I mean, it's quite very low and it shows a lot. Governor Wike had no choice. And Aisha Yusufu was very tough on him yesterday when she came on the morning show. And she said he should understand. And Governor Wike should understand. In fact, there's no gainsaying the fact that Port Harcourt and Rivers State have bear the brunt of this a lot. A lot of young people have been killed in Rivers State as a result of police brutality. And you want to stop a protest in that regard? And you say they shouldn't come out and exercise their rights? The young people obviously will come out. I'm sure a lot of politicians don't still get this. They think this is like vote buying. You just give people money, they quell the protest. It's not about the money. It's about the lives that have been lost. It's about the people that have been harassed. I have been harassed. I keep saying it. I have been harassed. You know what it means for police officers to say, that's a POS machine. Go and bring 300,000 naira from me there. And if you don't do that, we impound your car. It's an annoyance from a lot of people. And that's what it is all about. I'm sure they don't get it. They don't still get it. Those people that collected our cameras yesterday in Abuja, they don't get it. I was making calculations. The microphone they damaged, the transmitter is about 400K. Plus the camera of 2.6 million that was first damaged or not returned, that's about 3 million. And the media is coming out to do its duty to cover all of this, and they are still suppressing.
All right. Well, meanwhile, protesters are continuing to gain momentum across Nigeria, despite the disbandment of the tactical squad. Many young Nigerians have kept up the pressure on police brutality, calling for more accountability and insisting on punishment for police officers who have murdered and brutalized citizens. Well, let's take a look at the protests that have been held in various cities across the country.
Leaders of tomorrow don't give them finish. And you did the course.
city. We're letting our voices be heard. Loud. End police brutality. Right now. Now, not tomorrow, today. Bad governance. And now.
Viva la Lagos, go to Sabisa. Viva la Lagos, go to Sabisa. Viva Barcelona, go to Sabisa. Viva Barcelona, go to Sabisa. Viva la Lagos. Is it the baby? What do you want? What do you want? How many people Sassy go kill? 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 Oh yeah, kill us liar. Kill us liar. Kill us liar. How many people Sassy go kill? The NSAS now. Let this paperwork continue right here. We're not fighting anymore. Just we shall always fight for our rights. Change the 1 minute. Okay, I see my come outside looking fresh again. Change the 1 minute. Can you never get me out?
Well, protesters today are demanding that the police provide the officers who killed a young man in Surulere during Monday's NSAS protests. Reports claim that the man was not even a protester. He had his hands still in his pockets when he was hit by a stray bullet. This video I'm about to show you contains graphic content. Your discretion is advised. Let's take a look.
Look out! Look out! This man is dead just because of a peaceful protest. This man is dead. This man is dead. I just said it. My name is Benga Sadiku. If you don't hear from me anymore, I'm dead. Look at this man. He is dead. Look at this car he's driving. Stray bullet just hit him all the way from Stadium Hotel. Is this the Nigeria we asked for?
We'll take our final story before we come back for a discussion. Well, soul singer Asha has captured the pulse of young people as they continue to protest and demand police reforms in a beautiful rendition for End SARS. Let's take a listen.
How many days can I wait? How many more can I take? In this hell on earth, from those who I serve. Mama say you won't belong. You just have to be strong. No one understands. No one really cares. I'm screaming, hoping you hear me now, 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 now. I'm sinking. Someone come come pull me out, out, out. I'm the one with 9 lives. You only killed me 3 times. No surrender, no backing down. No more tears stuck in my eyes. Watch me go all over the world. I am a star burning bright. Watch me go all over the world. The one you see up in the sky. Can you see me now? Hey, hey, you can never catch me now. Hey, hey, can you hear me now? Hey, hey, you can never reach me now. Hey.
That is an amazing song. I have goosebumps everywhere, by the way. And thank you so much for sharing the footage from the protest. It's as beautiful as it's heartbreaking.
Yes.
Beautiful because these are Nigerian youths peacefully demanding what is their right. I'm a bit... It's their right. Yeah. It's their right. And it's heartbreaking that it has come to this.
Yes.
And also heartbreaking is that man... I forced myself to watch that video because...
You did?
Yes. Usually, I would never watch that. But at this point, we cannot continue to look away.
Yes.
It's gory, it's upsetting, but let it upset us. It's completely unacceptable in this country. Otherwise, really, what kind of country are we saying that we are? And it's important to stop saying SARS killed people. SARS didn't kill anybody. SARS is an organization. Individuals within SARS kill people. We want names. We want to know Inspector
That's what they're demanding for today.
Officer so-and-so killed this person. We demand it because it's our right to know. You know how I find it quite primitive, but when people are arrested, they're paraded in the media even before they go to court. Well, let them be paraded. They should know amongst themselves who fired these shots and who killed these people. We need to know the name of the person who did this. It's important. We cannot continue like this because, like Rufai was saying, we've all experienced this. I have also experienced this in my own way. I have a parent who was murdered by the military. It wasn't the military, but we'll never know who killed him. It's devastating.
Yes, I'm glad that everyone is available now.
At the PS event, the president said every killing will be investigated.
Yes.
And that those responsible will be brought to justice.
Yes.
We hope that will happen. And then, of course, that beautiful song by Asha, Elemide, very touching. But you see, this is what happens from every tragedy, from every adversity. You see poetry coming out. You see the cultural industry, translating it into poetry, into song, into dance. And there's still going to be, on the positive side, a major harvest in terms of cultural productivity from this ugly experience that
Nigeria
just
continue to
is going through.
Our national anthem reads everything.
Thank you,
We
Oji.
have to come together.
Thank you, Oji.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much indeed.
See you tomorrow.
And that's all on today's edition of The Morning Show.